during the scamdemic, I bought a Conair clipper. I bought a Conair clippers during the scamdemic because all the barbershops were closed. So, and then I learned how to cut it myself. Do I do a great job? No, but
yeah, but unless you're Nancy Pelosi, then you demand that the salon opens up for you, only for
right,
you, and you walk through.
Yeah.
right. So
Kind of like who was that?
I
Oh,
bought the Conair. I bought the whole Conair kit, the clippers, the brushes, the thing where you can set the level, and it was $10 plus tax at Dollar Tree. I'm sorry, Family Dollar. So hey, well,
and her husband got DWI'd again. Her 80
yeah,
80 some odd year old husband.
I think they like to drink a little bit. All right, well, hello, folks. It's Fandango Friday.
Yes, it's Fandango Friday, absolutely. And we're off. Ronald Cheerio from Ontario is here to host us.
It's funny because the Terrios came from Canada. They came from Arcadia. I mean, not Arcadia. Acadia, which was a French territory, which was captured by the British and became known as Nova Scotia, New Scotland. Then they got kicked out of New Scotland, Nova Scotia in the 1750s because they refused to take an oath of allegiance to the British crown. So they came to Louisiana. So Ontario could host the Terrios. Okay, now I'm in Louisiana, and I guess the Terrios would not celebrate the Platinum Jubilee. I don't know. Anyway, I'm in Louisiana with Louisiana Liqueur Reviews. James P. Madonna is in New Jersey with Progressive Discussions. Jesse's in New Hampshire with Bumpy Road Brewing. In BC, Christopher is in Michigan with BC's Beer Reviews. Oh, BC's Single Malt Scotch Reviews. All right, now, tonight, here's what I've got. I should have had it in the freezer, but I forgot to put it in the freezer. But I did have it in the refrigerator at least. I should have put it in the freezer for 35, 40 minutes. But I was fooling with orangey. All right. I've got J. Brandt coffee liqueur introduced in 2006. And the reason I brought this is because I recently bought it at a grocery store called Albertsons, which is a big chain across the United States. And I bought this full-size bottle for the price of, anyone want to guess? James knows already. Anyone want to guess?
$4.99.
$12.99.
Yeah, $4.99.
Yeah, $4.99, which is pretty much the best deal in the world. All right.
499 cents. 499.
Right. They have caramel color added to make it darker. It still might be kind of dark. And look, I have a theory, and I probably think it's a very good theory. I have a theory as to why it's called J. Brandt coffee liqueur. I think I have logically deducted why it's using the name Brandt, and I'll talk about that later. So here I have it. It's bottled in Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky, by a company called the Founders Company. Now you might say, well, who in the world is the Founders Company? I never heard of them.
beer.
and
Coffee.
neither has anyone else heard of the Founders Company. But if you do some research on the United States government websites where they allow companies to use alias names, you're allowed to use an alias name as long as you register it with the United States government. You'll probably never guess who the actual company is using the alias name, the Founders Company.
I got a good guess.
Folgers.
That's a wreck.
The Lost and Founders.
You're right, BC. Sazerac.
Oh.
It's the Sazerac Company.
They don't want people to think they're really taking over, so they're using aliases, right?
Alias names: the Founders Company, Legacy Distilling, 75 South, and so forth. I think they have like 93 registered aliases with the U.S. government.
Yeah. Now, if you use an alias with social media, they demand that you use your real name.
Social media, you're not supposed to use an alias, but in business and commerce, aliases are A-OK. Now, so I'm gonna. Oh, it smells like coffee, y'all. It smells like medium roast coffee. Now, I have some theories about why they use the name Jay Brandt, and I have theories about which coffee company they're getting their coffee from. I know the liqueur is coming from Sazerac. I mean, the liquor, they're probably using one of their mini vodka brands like Taka, or one of their mini white rum brands. So that's no really a mystery there. But the coffee would be a mystery. And it doesn't say made by Sazerac, if you notice. It only says bottled by the Founders Company. It does not say produced by them. So they're obviously collaborating with a coffee company. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So James P. Madonna is now going to take over for his expose.
Okay. All right. I brought the Ciroc Summer Citrus.
Wow.
Okay. And it says on the website, which I posted, no, it doesn't say that, but it says limited edition. Hold on. I bet that coffee liqueur will be excellent in the freezer overnight.
Yeah.
Celebrate summer with limited edition Ciroc Summer Citrus. Okay. And, it goes on to make it like inviting juicy blood orange and tangy fresh squeezed citrus notes. All right. And then some more violin playing, blah, blah, blah. Hints of lime zest, silky smooth finish, juicy blood orange. Well, I love blood orange. I mean, as a fruit. Velvety smooth finish. And then the recipes, blah, blah, blah. Here we go. Cocktails and all the things you can do. Citrus sunrise, all the recipes that you can concoct if you're a mixologist or a neophyte mixer. And it's a French vodka. I believe it's made from grapes, right? The French usually do that.
Well, no, not really, but that company does.
Ciroc does.
Something
does.
was,
What about the Grey Goose? Grey Goose is great.
I think all the rest are grain. I think the rest are grain vodka. They use grain.
Okay. Okay. I just want to. This is a special Fandango Friday because officially the shot glass is topless. Hereby topless. After all those months or years or however long I had this damn thing, it is finally topless. Okay, now on to Bumpy Road.
Okay, I'm trying to find the summer citrus, but they're
Well,
really only talking about the watermelon.
Yeah, I put the link. in the privates.
Okay, all right, because I was looking up and they were showing sunset citrus and watermelon citrus, so forth.
Yeah,
It's a new
have
line.
They got like a Granny Smith apple, a mango. They got a whole bunch of delectable flavored vodkas, and here he is.
All right. Mine's gonna be a mix, but I'll show you the base spirit that I'm using. This is Bar Hill Gin. It is out of Montpelier, Vermont. 100% grain neutral spirit with juniper and raw honey. It's distilled and bottled by Caledonia Spirits. And there's a little saying here from Thomas Hardy. I believe that's what it says. It's in boy, if I could just remember what the heck that word was. Not penmanship.
Caledonius. I wonder if that's connected with the island of New
When
Caledonia.
you're right like that.
Anyways,
it says the best fertilizer is always the footprint of the farmer. What's cool about this also is this is like a beeswax top. Even the wood little plug there is got wax all over it, and it smells of like lavender or floral honey. So let's do a little sip of this first before I do my mix, which is going to be with a ginger beer.
That gin was meant to be.
All right.
Yeah, the ginger beer that I will be using is Gosling's. This is a diet ginger beer, and it's Stormy.
Oh yeah, they make a lot of rum too. They make rum.
Yeah, Stormy Daniels, I think.
Bermuda,
right there.
Bermuda rum. Bermuda. Stormy Daniels rum. No, Bermuda.
You're right.
Yep. So yeah, that's an easy to take down
Bermuda,
gin
right. You're right.
by itself. It does have some of that kind of floral-esque, almost lavender-like and honey flavors. So it's nice. So I will be doing my mix later on. Cheers. Thanks for having me on, Ron.
I think that was a British colony, New Caledonia. It's east of New Zealand.
No, we're gonna talk. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that in a little bit, actually.
Yeah, it's in that vicinity.
I'm trying to drag over BC, but as you know, StreamYard not very
BC looks a lot younger since he shaved his cranium there. You got rid of the fuzz.
You know, yeah, I'm glad I got the good shaped head, man. My God, I don't think I could go bald if I had an ugly head.
No, you have a good head for that. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I got today is Traverse City Whiskey Company. They're right out of here in Michigan, out of Traverse City. And what they do is they grow cherries on their orchard. They infuse it with their bourbon for their whiskey, which is pretty good. And it's a 35 proof or a percent or a 70 proof whiskey. I know I was reading some of the website earlier, and they were saying that it had like a cherry and caramel. There was another flavor, vanilla flavor to it as well. So I've already probably bought, like, since I discovered this bottle for this stuff, probably about a year and a half ago, maybe 5 bottles. So this is a really good product. I enjoy this.
Wow, this is a cherry. This would be like a cherry whiskey liqueur, right? Okay.
Yeah. They, I don't know if they brew the bourbon first or if they do the bourbon and then add it. Well, you know what I mean, ferment it, or whatever they do. They let it set and do its thing.
Right. Yeah. Distill it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's like the way they do Angel's Envy, where they started as a bourbon and then they finish it off in a what is it, a sherry cask? You know what I mean? So either way, they
Yeah.
basically use the cherry that they grow and infuse it with it. That's its all natural flavors. So
Well, I've got the website, Traverse City Whiskey Company, so we're going to look at it in a little while. I just have to bring up the website. They've got many different ones. Straight bourbon. They have a straight bourbon.
yeah,
Okay. Small. All right. Now, let me go and I'm going to try to bring up all the comments. I'm going to catch up on the comments, but let me go to the banners and do like James calls a scrolling marquee. So we're going to bring in Jay Brandt. And there's also a Jay Brandt triple sec and maybe other Jay Brandt coffee liqueur. And that is at 30 proof. We have Ciroc Summer.
Hold on. Summer citrus, 35%.
Summer citrus at 70 proof. We have Bar Hill Gin, which would be at 80 proof. Am I right? Bar Hill Gin at 80 proof. Proof. I would take a guess. I could be wrong. What is it?
Oh, I'm sorry. I had my mic muted. It's 90. I'm not hearing me because you weren't. Yeah, 90 proof, 45%.
Oh, 90 proof. Okay. And then we have Traverse City American Cherry at 70 proof. Okay. Excellent, excellent. All right. Now, well, getting back to myself. I can't show you a website because there is no website for the J Brandt. And as you can see, there's like one drop left. So you can blow through this stuff pretty easily. It's only at 15% alcohol, right? Yeah, only.
I bet it's good in some strong coffee, some black.
Yes, I think. Yes, I think I'm going to put it in some tomorrow. It's very sweet, so if you like sugar. I mean, you're just going to hate it. You know, it's just going to be unbelievably. But you see, I know Louisiana. I live in Louisiana, and people in Louisiana like to put a little coffee in their sugar.
Oh, so in other words, the dentists just love them.
yeah.
Oh my! I mean, cavities is like the state holiday, the state bird of. But
was it
so
England? England was known for that, right? People have bad teeth. They eat a lot of candy or something like that.
Yeah,
anyway.
And bad dentistry, and they have government health care that doesn't cover any. So they don't go in our teeth all right. So they're like, jolly good. My teeth are rot.
My teeth are rot.
Miscellaneous should come up with his whistle pig. That's what I think.
Miscellaneous. Whatever happened to Eric Farfanugan? I haven't seen him in a while.
Not either. He's with his band.
All right.
Yeah, he was putting down keyboard track for his band earlier on. So,
Oh, oh, okay. Got to do what you got to do. Now, the coffee's there. I like coffee. I mean, I drink coffee like constantly, every day of my life. If I don't drink coffee, I feel sick. So it's like a dependency. But
Oh,
let me
I
go
got
through these
this new
comments, and I'm going to tell you what
I got this new organic coffee from Peru that I tried today for the first time, and it's dark roasts, very good. And I bet a shot, an ounce and a half, aka a jigger, right? That's the mixology term,
Yeah.
mixologist terminology. The jigger of that coffee liqueur in such a dark roast would be excellent. Counting down.
I think you're right. I'm going to try that. I'm going to do that experiment tomorrow morning, actually.
Counting down to another month. Another month that they're dedicating to another lobbying group has an entire month to that expects the world to honor them. Yeah.
Well, I posted that on June 1st. I said it's pandering month.
Yeah. A new lobbying group officially has a month dedicated to them. A new one. I don't know if there's any Native American months, or heaven forbid a European.
I call it pandering.
Pandering, yeah, pandering. Heaven forbid the Europeans should ever want a month. European Americans.
Oh, that is, I'm kind of triggered that you said that. I'm very angry. So,
yeah, well, that's part of one of your political talk shows. Or you know what? I'm going to rant about it Sunday, and that's it. I don't want to defandango the Fandango.
Yes, I'm pretty already now.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway,
I saw a beer a little bit ago. It was actually called Fandango Friday.
Somebody stole. Fandango.
Maybe it didn't have the Friday in there, but it was definitely called Fandango.
Yeah, what is it? Imitation is the most sincere form of flattery. Hey, Fandango people, I realize you worship us, but just don't use the word Friday.
Right. Yeah, even if it's related to Robinson Crusoe. Now, look, because Friday was all right. Look, now listen here.
I got to.
He was Polynesian, I think, Friday, right?
Yeah. Listen here. First thing, New Caledonia is a huge island, plus some other little islands close to it called the Wallis and Futuna Islands. Those are actually a French territory.
Oh.
But France, always been France, New Caledonia. But France says, oh, they're not territories. We don't own territory. We don't have an empire anymore. What do you think we are, imperialists? So France calls them a country. They're not a territory. They're a French country. They rule themselves under our guidance.
Under our guidance, right? I had geckos. I had geckos from the island of New Caledonia. They're only from there. I used to. They're crested geckos.
So yeah. France would let you know. Their government would let you know that New Caledonia and the Wallis and Futuna Islands are an absolutely independent country under the guidance of France's government, army, and navy. And they can do whatever they want with French advice. Anyway,
You know what was
subject to a
attractive?
veto.
You ever see the French Jolly Roger flag, the pirate flag from that the French pirates used to fly? It's very elaborate. I like.
No, I think instead of having a skull, it had a fleur de lis on it.
No fleur de lis. It had. They were drinking some. They had a goblet. They were drinking. I imagine rum. It was.
Maybe it was a skull wearing a beret.
Yeah, a Basque beret, the black one.
Was it
Maybe whiskey made out of grapes.
Right.
red raspberry?
Right.
Right.
Wilbur.
It wasn't a Jolly Roger. It was a Jolly Roger. Anyway, now, but that's true. French Caledonia. Oh, I'm sorry. New Caledonia is still a French territory. Whatever the case, they call it a territorial collectivity.
You ever hear that song?
Anyway,
French Canada is the best Canada. It's on South Park. They sing it. French Canada is a bunch of Quebec people saying that they are the best Canadians.
I knew some Canadians from the British part of Canada, and they said to me, "Oh, you don't want to go there. That's a bunch of frogs." All right.
I was there. I was in Montreal. They were nice to me.
Yeah, I went to Quebec, and they were very friendly to me. But anyway, although they couldn't speak English and they couldn't understand what I was saying. But anyway, that's the second point. I like the whiskey. I like the coffee liqueur a lot. I don't know what liquor they're using, but it tastes like coffee and sugar. So I mean, if you like coffee and sugar, and Louisiana people clearly do, as from my observation, I like it. So I'm going to score this as you can see, I popped it off with no kind of effort. I'm going to give it a B plus. It's not excellent. You can give things a lot of leeway. That's not the normal price, but you know. All right, I'll go 87 out of 100. It's good, and for that price, it's great, you know. But secondly, J. Brandt. Now, why do we think that it has the name J. Brandt? Well, I'll give you some information. J. Brandt was a guy who died about, not J. Brandt, that's the Brandt family. I'm thinking of a different Brandt, but that family owned a huge automobile empire. They sold Toyota vehicles and stuff all around the New Orleans area. And he died, and they had a family fight over who was supposed to inherit the Brandt automobile empire. All right, so here's my theory. I think J. Brandt, whoever he is or was more than likely a close friend of Goldring, maybe even married into the family, the Goldring family. And I think that this line of course was named in his honor. They probably both had involvement in the Jewish Community Center in New Orleans. And I think there's a certain connection. I don't think they just accidentally named it Brandt. I'm thinking of Ray Brandt. Yeah, Ray Brandt Toyota. But I think J. Brandt probably might be a woman like Janine Brandt or what is the name that? Judith. That would be a good choice. Judith Brandt. And I think that was probably named on purpose. Now, does that matter to me? Do I find that offensive? No. I'm just saying I think that that's probably the case there. Now, thirdly, it's a Sazerac product, and I can't think of what I was going to say next, but yeah, it's very nice. And as far as promos, yeah, an alias name, the Founders Company. whatever. All right, now tomorrow morning at dawn,
my
I got
God.
tomorrow morning at dawn, I've got the last little bit of this Johnny Walker Gold Label Reserve. It was rather cheap considering what it normally sells for.
What is this?
Wait, what is all this talk?
Yeah, who is that?
What is all this?
Is that a Sarah
Hello?
too? Yeah, who's that?
That's BC. He's got some kind of background noise. But like James P. Madonna says, the mute button is available. All right. So Gold Label Reserve, it runs about $57 a bottle, $57 a bottle. But I was able to get it for when you average out the ounces, $44.95 a bottle. It hasn't really been performing that great. You would think if you're paying $57 a bottle, it's supposed to decimate, destroy, and annihilate all the other Scotch whiskeys, blended Scotch. But no, that has not been the case. Either I'm bad at tasting whiskey or it's not as good as it claims to be. Now, tomorrow I'm going up against Grant's. I did not pay $57 for Grant's. I bought this huge handle bottle glass for about $18. Now, I got this big bottle for 18 or 19, something like that, inexpensive. And I can buy a regular size bottle of Gold Label Reserve for $57. Now, I know you guys are like me. If I'm paying $57, it doggone well better outperform the run-of-the-mill stuff I've got. But you know what's been happening? Half the time, I can't even tell them one from the other. It should be a wipeout, not a close call. So that's something to think about. Now, hold on one more second, and then I'm done. I won't say anything else.
Yeah, I mean, for that price difference, it should be a wipeout.
It just goes to show you a lot of these independent, small-time Scotch whiskey companies can really compete with the big boys and at a much lower price per ounce. But
Well,
what I wanted to say was
they have to try harder.
Right, and they don't advertise. What I wanted to say was, what the hell?
Hey, little Dickle.
Look how low. Look how low now.
Tabasco.
Aged in Tabasco barrels. So I'm going to sip on that, and we know that's going to be spicy and interesting. Now, James is going to come on, and then BC will come back. He had some little difficulties, and he dropped off, but we'll bring him back. There's a lot of background noise.
Yeah, well, he always had Wi-Fi issues.
Yeah, that's true.
He says he didn't always have Wi-Fi issues. I said, well, why don't you change companies?
I'm going to just change the Wi-Fi name to Why Not.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Well, I'm on via high-speed cable. The Wi-Fi is if I'm on somebody's show with my phone. But this is I have no tolerance for garbage video and audio. I like to do it the right way. The professional way. Professional way with the professional kazoo. Okay, here we have the Shirak Summer Citrus. It does have a very pleasant, refreshing blood orange aroma. Yeah, limited edition. Well, hopefully it'll go over big and it won't be so limited. What a nice aroma. What a pleasant
You want to
flavor.
read? You want to read this? You want to read this copy, or you want me to read it?
Oh. Celebrate summer with the limited edition Ciroc Summer Citrus. Ciroc Summer Citrus flavored vodka is the perfect golden hour drink to make a toast to this summer season. Uh, Limited time only. Get it before it's gone. Yeah, you know how that is. It's like going out of business sale, and then they don't go out of business. Juicy blood orange and tangy, fresh squeezed citrus notes. Taste opening with a sun-kissed nose of bright, juicy blood orange, tangy, fresh squeezed citrus taste with hints of lime zest, culminating in a silky smooth finish. Velvety smooth. Yeah, I read that before. That's why I was saying it's a lot of.
Right. I just wanted to show so people had a visual.
Right. Yeah. And then you have all these cocktails, these recipes for summer, and which I would think this would be perfect for.
The vodka is distilled 5 times.
So if instead of a tequila sunrise, they would make a vodka sunrise using this.
Exactly.
You know, and it's not too sweet. I mean, yes, there is sweetness to it, but it's not like a nauseating sweet, like some products, like that San Diego peanut butter whiskey with a disgusting.
Oh, screwball.
Screwball.
Yeah, screwball.
Oh,
Screwball.
I dumped it. Good thing I only got an airline bottle. But anyway, this is very orangey. I toast to orangey, your cat, and it's not.
She's right outside. She's right outside.
I think it'll be great as a mixer for a summer, ice cold summer frozen drink. To replace white rum, or any light colored hard liquor.
Summer product.
Yeah, like for instance, with some rum drinks they use white rum, like pina colada. Others they use dark rum. So whatever calls for a white hard liquor, this will be an excellent substitute. Now, do I like it to the point where I would get a large bottle of this? No, I won't, because it's still a tad bit too sweet for me.
What if you found a large bottle? What if you found a large bottle for $4.99?
Then I would get it and keep it in the freezer. Keep it in the freezer. Or if somebody gave me one, every time I go to my sister's house, they got me a gift of, nice dark rum, molasses, the dark rum, and then what am I supposed to do? Say no, I don't want it.
Right.
But I like that, you see. But I'm just saying, it's something to bring on the show that I never had before. I'm sure all their other flavors are a bit sweet also. And it seems like all flavored hard liquors have a degree of sweetness in it.
Yeah.
So, but I taste the zest. I definitely taste the blood orange, and drinking it is like, I realize it's not classified as a liqueur, but it can be. As I'm drinking it straight, it definitely can be.
Well, I think it would be a liqueur. It's
with the flavor.
It's a liqueur.
Yeah, with the flavoring and the sweetness, it is actually sweeter than some liqueurs that I brought on the show. Some.
Hmm.
Some, especially the finer ones that, not
Yeah.
not
Well, I
the
think the company claim. I think the company claims they use all natural flavors.
well, it smells it and it tastes like it. And now that Mr. Isle of Fire taught me how to shut the mute the notifications so I don't hear the bling bling bling. Thank you, sir,
Yeah.
for your guidance. But it's good. It's good, but it's not. I'm not into sweet things. Even pastries and cake. I like very plain, mild things. Like yeah, Labatt's. Labatt's is not
I
bad.
was reading about. I was reading about talking about plain and mild. I was reading about why William Kellogg developed cornflakes.
Well,
He thought eating plain and mild food would help people with some problem. All right.
cornflakes is mild, but there's a lot of cane sugar in there. I used to get Uncle Sam cereal when I was a kid. It was like very high fiber raisin bran with hardly. I think the only sweetener was malt. Was malt. I think that was the only sweetener, but it was hardcore raisin bran and flax seeds from Canada. It was made in Canada. It had Uncle Sam's head at the top hat, and it had red and white stripes. Rivet. Rivet is a great name for a barbecue restaurant that has all you can eat baby bags. Rivets had like a frog, a sign with a frog eating spare ribs. Rivet. How's that? I'm giving away an idea. So I'm going to give it. You might as well give it a score. I'm going to give it for flavored vodkas. I'll give it a 95% for flavored vodkas. It's good. I mean, if it was like terribly sweet, I would give it a much lower score. But for a flavored vodka, but I think not for a mixed drink. I wouldn't use a sweet flavored hard liquor.
Yeah, because you're going to get all the sweetness from the sugar and everything else you add.
Yeah, in the cocktail, right? So I would say.
What's the number again?
You know what? I gave it a 95 in terms of flavored vodkas. This particular flavor I like because I love blood orange, because I've eaten blood oranges and they're really super good. So 95% for flavored vodkas,
Okay.
that is, not for flavored
Oh, and now
anything else.
I'm showing this comment because King of the Dots, Gary, his real name is Gary. He found Heaven Hill's Quality House Old Fashioned Sour Mash Bourbon, and he said it's sweet and true. And you know about Heaven Hill's off the radar bourbons.
Oh yeah, it's a great bang for the buck. I mean, fantastic. I mean, I think both ones I had, the one with the cream, the ivory and green lettering label, and the black label. Yeah, I've had from Haiti. Yeah, I brought it on a show one time. Rum barbecue from Haiti. It was good.
Yeah. I've never had Barbancourt, but I want to buy it.
It's
But yeah, Heaven Hill. I'd like to try more Heaven Hills. You'll never see one of their bourbons on television advertisements. Nope.
no, and
Well, we got two other guys. We got two other guys waiting. So James, any promos?
well, I'm gonna go live with my show Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Serious topics from 3 to 4, and after 4 is, whatever people want to talk about. So I can get through. Yeah. Otherwise, people will just keep interrupting me, and I'll never get through the serious topics. So that's what I'll be doing. Yeah, are you doing a tomorrow morning? Are you doing a Dawn Busters taste challenge?
Yeah, with the Grants.
Oh, that's right. The Grants versus the Johnny Walker Gold Reserve. Oh no, yeah,
Gold Label Reserve.
Gold Label
Yeah,
Reserve.
a big mismatch on price, but I'm not sure if it's going to be a mismatch on flavor. You know how that goes. The value brands have been really coming out swinging. So just makes you think, All right, so that's good. And next Wednesday we're going to do a dedicated video. Next Wednesday we have a product coming up, and it is from our friends at Schlitz Brewing Company. Stroh's Brewing Company is called Schlitz Blue Bull Extra Strong Lager. Schlitz Blue Bull.
Oh,
Nope.
They own
Stroh's.
They own Stroh's. They bought out Stroh's. Or
Stroh's bought out Schlitz. Schlitz, yeah. No City Park bench is complete without it. All right, now.
Back in the 1980s, maybe the early 1980s, my uncle, when he was doing huge pots of steamed crabs outside of Maryland, and he had a case of more than one case, because they were heavy drinkers, my aunt and uncle. They had Stroh's, cans of Stroh's beer, and it said Detroit, Michigan, fire brewed Stroh's beer.
Yeah.
Detroit.
Yep.
Nice.
Try finding that now. All right, now I want to thank the two other guys for waiting patiently, but now we are ready to look at America's most awarded gin in a cocktail.
All right.
See,
I will do this as kind of a two-part. I'll finish this off, and then I'll basically just do a score on the gin itself. So I'll have to pour some gin afterwards. But as far as the aromas go with the ginger beer, now this is a Gosling's Diet. I typically don't use Diet, but I'm actually finding I like the Diet stuff a bit more because it's less sweet. It's less sweet, but it does have that artificial sweetener stuff. You can taste it. Whatever that stuff is called. I don't generally use it. I think it starts with an S. The non-sugar sugar.
Sucralose.
Yeah. So you can kind of taste that, but it does cut back a bit on the ginger as well, which the ginger is very nice in a ginger beer. If you really like ginger snap cookies, but ginger's pretty spicy, so it kind of cuts a little bit back on the spice note. So mixing it with the gin, it allows more of the gin flavors to still shine through while adding to it with a bit of that spicy ginger note. So the aromas of this mixed with it, I mean, you get the ginger, getting the gin out of it, getting a bit of a lemon note. There's a floralness with this one, a nice honey. A little bit of pininess, but not overdone. Some people think that gin tastes and smells like Pine Sol floor cleaner, which I can agree with some of the bottom shelf stuff definitely being like that. But this is not so much like that. You kind of get a difference between the pine, the lemon, and this one you definitely get the honey and lavender and floral notes and stuff. It's nice. And then that ginger just adds a bit of a nice little spice kick to that pine, and we drink it.
Cheers. Have you ever
Cheers.
tried the exceptionally inexpensive Crystal? Cheers. Have you ever tried the exceptionally inexpensive Crystal Palace gin from Sazerac?
No, I think the cheapest gin that I've ever had, I think was like what do they call it? Turkey eater or something like that. I think
Turkey ear?
beef eater.
Beef eater.
Oh,
Beefeater gin.
oh no! Crystal Palace makes Beefeater look like a world-class product.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I've never had anything that bad.
Tanqueray.
Yeah, pretty much for the most part. If I was just gonna, I mean, I pick up gin here and there, but kind of my lowest hang around was the I can't even think of the name of it. I'm like totally spaced now. Sapphire.
Oh yeah, Bombay Sapphire.
Bombay, yeah, thank you. Yeah, I get the Bombay Sapphire, but I generally just pick out random gins just to try, and I found a few good ones. Like this one was definitely a good one, but I'll give you a score on it after I do just take a shot of just a straight gin again. But yeah, good flavors. I like the mix of this with the diet. I think from now on I'll do the when I do the ginger beer, I probably will get the diet. Plus, I mean, it will help with not packing on as much sugar to add to calories, which is important when you're a heavy beer drinker to watch your waistline, to expand it with other things. Yeah, you brought up the website already on the Bar Hill.
Yes, I was showing it already, and I noticed that they add honey to the gin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you definitely get that.
interesting.
That's what I'm saying. That floral note and stuff. It does taste like it's coming naturally out of the honey, like it's a clover honey. But there's a bit of lavender type flavor in there. There's another gin that actually does infuse it with lavender, which is the Empress gin. And that's a fantastic drinking gin as well. Plus, it makes your drinks nice and purty because they add butterfly pea, which it's not urine from a butterfly, but it's some type of flower that gives it a purple to blue tint. So it makes your drinks look interesting with this purplish blue coloration.
Yeah.
But
And
yeah,
you never
this is
had-
drinking.
You never had Bulldog or Red Door gin, right?
No.
I bought those for my daughter. Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, I don't know. I have like a lack of memory. I should probably just like take pictures and keep notes to know what gins I have had. I've had Aviator. I've had the Empress. I've had I don't know, with some Island. But the Botanist, that was that was the most expensive gin I ever bought, was the Botanist. Came in an awesome bottle though.
Mm-hmm.
I've had Gunpowder gin. That's good from Ireland. That's a really good gin.
Yeah.
It's also blue.
Never had
yeah,
Seagram's. Never had Seagram's. Seagram's is the most popular in America. Seagram's. All right.
I don't do the Seagrams. That's Dio does the Seagrams. But let me go ahead and just pour a bit of the actual gin, and I'll swish it around and come up with I'll generate a score, lickety split.
Okie doke.
So yeah, it's got good aromas to it of the lemon peel, a bit piney. there is that honey and lavender for the most part in the floralness of it. I mean, it definitely does have an alcoholic burn to the nostrils. It's 45% ABV. It's a bit hot when you drink them like this, but yeah, it coats the mouth in honey and floral notes for the most part. It is hot. It does burn. The lemon note's nice, lemon peel. Bit of that pininess, but it is separated. This doesn't taste like floor cleaner, which is definitely positive. Yeah, for this gin, out of the gins that I've had, I'd probably land this one right around, give it like a 94.5 out of 100.
So round off to 95.
Yeah, we can round up to 95.
Wow, that's a nice one. Now I know you said Dio likes the Seagram's, but I don't know if Dio ever had the Seagram's Distillers Reserve. That's a little more high. Distillers Reserve.
Yeah, I think he just goes for the cheapest product he can find and then mixes it with water.
Yeah, well, the Distillers Reserve is a much better product. I've had it. It's a little. My daughter loved it. She's very particular. Believe me. Anyway, so we got.
So that's how you can know if it's a good gin or not. You have to first off like gin, but if you can take a mouthful of gin and swish it around, and swallow it down and not gag on it, that means it's pretty decent.
So we got 295s and we got 87. Cheers. And now BC's coming in with a Michigan cherry. And Michigan's famous for cherries.
Yep. Amongst other things. Well, that was pretty good. I enjoyed it. The smell that I was getting off of it, you were definitely getting the cherry smell off of it. With bourbon right off straight away. And taste of it. The cherry really came out on it. And some of the bourbon, there was a slight burn to it. I mean, it was like a slight burn. That's what I was getting off of it. And you got a little bit of the caramel off of there. I mean, just a little bit. I really couldn't taste the vanilla off. And sure, it was there, but I couldn't taste it. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. I bought, 5 bottles. That's how I discovered this thing. It's really nice. I enjoy this one. Almost makes me want to start using it in like a barbecue sauce type of thing. That good.
Oh, that sounds like a good idea.
It does sound like a good idea.
Yeah.
You can use it as a spritzer, doing like pulled pork or ribs or whatever.
Yeah. I've got a bottle of that already. I might get another one. Yeah, try it out. But yeah, I still can't believe that they grow their own cherries to make it. I don't know how many other companies. I know there's one out in Oregon that does something similar to it, but I can't remember the name of it. But yeah, I really enjoy it. As far as score goes, I would have to give it a 98.
98. Have you ever tried?
Yep.
I'm going to put that on the banners. Have you ever tried Traverse City Straight Bourbon?
No, I haven't tried that yet. No.
Do you think that would be something you'd be interested in trying?
Yeah, it would. I mean, if I like the cherry bourbon right off the bat, I'm kind of it does make me wonder what the regular bourbon tastes like. I know they've got a couple other flavors out there too.
Yeah. Now, of course, the straight bourbon is not going to have any flavoring at it. It's just going to be the grain and the charred oak. It's not going to have any flavoring.
Oh yeah, I don't mind bourbon. I mean, I'm pretty much known for reviewing beers, but I do mind or do enjoy a good bourbon.
So you're saying 98? 98, okay.
Yep, 98. Yep.
Wow, we have some really good scores. had the worst score, but then I can't complain because I had the lowest price layout. I didn't have to put money out. All right, let's see. So 98 out of 100. I might have to go to the dentist after drinking this, but
You know what I used to put the Rumpel mince peppermint schnapps in hot cocoa, like the strong hot cocoa with lower sugar. I would put the peppermint schnapps in there, and it tasted like a peppermint patty candy. It was very similar.
it's weird because I keep seeing Rumple mints everywhere around here. Everywhere, everybody's got it.
50% alcohol.
True story.
Too. It's a
Oh
liqueur.
man, you gotta watch that. It'll
Yeah.
blow you up, right?
It beats a lot of hard liquors for a schnapps. Bumpy has a show Monday. Let him mention.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I totally forgot the shout stuck up.
Yeah, y'all got to do your promos. So hold on, let me just put some comments in. I'm sorry about that. We got to do.
Oh no,
promos.
I totally forgot. The gin got to me. The gin got to me.
Yeah, we got new beers and.
Oh yeah,
beers
if
for
you want me,
tier.
as you're throwing those up, if you want me to say what I got, I do 2 beer review videos. I call them 50-point inspections because that's my rating scale. This is what it looks like. Go through appearance, aroma, flavor. There's all breakdowns between all of those, the body, the overall, to get to a 50-point inspection. Basically, if you want to put it down to that 5 scale that a lot of people use, it's like that. You can double it up. I've just recently decided to get a little bit more in depth with it, with adding a decimal. But I'm only doing it by 0.5. But I think that breaks it down just a little bit more. And then that also allows me to do more of that. If you want to double it up to make it within that 100 scale, it works a little bit better as far as
Yes, I saw you talking about that you were going to bring in half points.
Yeah, because sometimes it's like there's certain things, like on this last beer that I did, the appearance, normally I would have just called that a 6, but there was just something wrong, a little bit off, not wrong with it, but it was just like it doesn't really deserve a full 6, but it's not really like a 5. It wasn't a real big fault, but it did have a fault. So the decimal will help kind of just give it a little more break in between. So I have those videos anyways, the 50-point inspection videos. I put them out on Wednesdays and Fridays. It just gives us, the most important thing is myself some sanity. So I'm not trying to post something every day and trying to edit stuff. And it becomes a lot when you do that. Plus you have to constantly purchase and review beers all the time. And I'm not always doing that. I mean, I'm purchasing beers all the time, but I'm not always reviewing them.
Right.
Yeah. It just gives me it makes it easier in my life. This isn't my livelihood doing this. So,
No.
And then also I think it gives the viewers, anybody that is watching my stuff, a break, because they're not constantly like, oh, I'm behind on videos. It gives them time to, hey, you got only put out a couple a week for the most part. So, no big what if you don't watch them, if you miss them or whatever, just hit one here and there. It's fine. Live streams I do on Monday. It's called New Brew. It's a live stream where you bring a beer that you've never had before, join up on panel. It doesn't have to be a beer that just got put out. It can be an old beer that you've never had. That's the whole basis of it. I do have a portion of the show where it's just a free-for-all discussion of basically whatever. Usually beer topics would be preferred, but it's whatever anybody wants to talk about for the most part. There's a portion of the show where the panel will be asked a question to answer. That can come from either myself, another panel member, or somebody that's watching the show that's in the chat. So you guys can all throw out a question if you're there in the chat, and your question may become part of the show for that episode. I switched it up just a little bit, just because a lot of the free-for-all stuff became a battle of people just wanting to talk about the beer that they had. So I started off basically show your beer, talk about your beer, and then we get through that portion of it. That way everybody at least knows what their beer is, and they can actually get that out of their system. They can talk about it.
Right.
And
beer geeks can be geeky.
Yeah. And I could understand that. I wanted people to be able to talk about their beers. I just didn't want it to be a completely another show of like a wild card day or something like that, where it's just another beer review. I wanted it to be a little bit more open panel, bar room discussion. But everybody does want to talk about this, especially if it's a beer you've never had before. You really want to talk about it. So, I switched up just a little bit.
Theoretically,
so you can get it out there. But that's at 8 p.m. It's at 8 p.m. Eastern time on Monday, on my channel, Bumpy Road Brewery. And go ahead, Ron. What were you saying?
This guy says, FACP Monitoring says, Bumpy, I'm going to be in Boston next week, going to the Harpoon Brewery. Any other recommendations for breweries to go to?
Well, if you're going to be in Boston, I would recommend, if you're going to Harpoon, I mean, that's Harpoon. It depends on what type of beer that you really like. But I mean, you got the Trillium. I would recommend it's summertime or springtime now, going to the Trillium Garden. It's in the center of Boston. Beautiful, beautiful area. And get some Trillium beers. You also right basically across the street from Trillium Garden, maybe down just a few blocks, there's a Sam Adams bar, and you can also find the Sam Adams brewery there as well. It's really fun to you can go on the tour if you'd like. The wife and I went on the tour at the Sam Adams Brewery years ago. And I mean, if you go to one beer tour, you go to them all. I mean, it's all the same process for the most part. But at the end, there was a free bus. You could take the tour bus, and they brought us to one of the oldest bars in Boston that's actually been in quite a few gangster movies. I can't remember the name of the bar. I think it starts with a C. But fantastic place, and some of the best pizza also. Unless you're from New York. But yeah, some of the best pizza that I've had. I would say it's probably third or fourth best pizza I've had in my life from that bar.
Gary, that is an insult. He would not go to the House of the Rising Sun in New Orleans. I would never go to a place like that. When I go to New Orleans, I go to a spa because I love exercise, and I go to a Chinese spa because I am into exercise and health. Now, and there are many spas in New Orleans, many Chinese spas in New Orleans.
Well, that's good. That's good. They know acupressure, reflexology, shiatsu, cupping, which is moxibustion, acupuncture. They walk on back. They walk on back very well.
Yeah.
I cannot.
If you're able to travel around Massachusetts, I mean, you got Treehouse and stuff. Treehouse is always a good visit. But basically, if you're just going there to buy beer and leave, don't expect to go to Treehouse and have a good time with sitting down and enjoying beer. It's just it's like a Go in, walk through the system, grab your beers that you want, and go.
Oh, okay.
After waiting for 45 to an hour in the parking lot.
Oh, no. All right. Now, BC has been very patient, and now he is going to tell us about any promos, right, BC? Promo time.
Yep.
Promo time.
Yep. I'll be doing a show tomorrow. We'll be doing a Voodoo Ranger. First time I've seen it, it's called, I think it was 1985. So we'll be trying that out tomorrow for the first time. Basically all I got. Yeah. Except for me and told
That's
my
all right.
wife.
I appreciate you joining. I appreciate you joining. And BC, you can join anytime, any Fandango Friday or any of the Wednesday nights. Like I said, we got the Schlitz Blue Bull next Wednesday. And that's been on the market since 1965. But now James P. Madonna is going to close us out with a musical accompaniment.
Have an enjoyable weekend.
Bravo.
Thank you. Have an enjoyable weekend from Fandango Friday.
Thank you. And I hope I am in that number when the Saints come marching in. And
You guys, not to the House of the Rising Sun, though. You'll be marching somewhere else.
oh no, I would never go to the House of the Rising Sun. Like I said, I'm into exercise. I like exercise, and I'm going to go to a Chinese spot and get exercise and do a lot of exercising. All right. And we have many Chinese spas in Louisiana and massage parlors. For some reason, people like massages for some bizarre reason.
Wow, yeah. Listen, I wonder if the Chinese in New Orleans, the Chinese version of the king cake has a little plastic Confucius action figure inside of Confucius.
I don't know. That might be an ancient Chinese secret, like with Calgon. But
Confucius say, Fandango is number one. Number
right,
one.
that's an ancient Chinese secret.
Charlie Chan wasn't even Asian. He was some white actor. You know, no.
Oh boy, I used to love me some Charlie Chan. All right, and his son. Remember, his son was always getting on his nerves. You know?
Number one son. No, he was Asian, I believe. Number one son. Number one son was Asian.
All right. Well, y'all take care now, and laissez les bon temps relais, and y'all come on down to Louisiana or New Jersey or New Hampshire or Michigan.
And the seafood is fine. There's no more Gulf spill. Eat the seafood. Everything